Pokémon's card art is more than just nostalgia. It's a world of evolving styles, legendary artists, and even art tournaments that can be won by people like you and me. But what makes a winning artwork? And how has the Pokémon Trading Card Game art changed over the years? Many of the original vintage Pokémon cards were drawn by one of the franchise's most iconic artists, Ken Sugimori. As an early developer at Game Freak, he played a crucial role in shaping Pokémon's visual identity. In fact, all the first Pokémon cards, released through vending machines, were his work. This set even featuring 2 secret cards in his iconic style. In other words, Sugimori's influence is undeniable, with over 1,000 card illustrations to his name throughout the series. But he wasn't the only one. His colleague, Atsuko Nishida, was responsible for adding the signature cute factor to many Pokémon such as Pikachu, and designed the classic Charmander, Squirtle, and the awesome Bulbasaur. And she also illustrated one of the most expensive Pokémon cards in history, the Pikachu Illustrator card. This ultra-rare card was awarded to winners of the Pokémon Illustration Magazine contest in '98. Another legendary artist from the early Pokémon card era is Mitsuhiro Arita. He truly embodies the heart of the card's philosophy, with some of his most iconic illustrations including the original Charizard and Pikachu cards. And his art is likely the most represented in any Pokémon collector set. But of course, Pokémon art is far bigger than just the legendary names. These days, countless artists and a couple of specialized companies contribute to the card designs, with notable differences between some of the Japanese and American releases. With more than 15,000 unique cards in the roster, it's pretty insane when you think about it. While Pokémon doesn't have a single defining art style, distinct trends have emerged over the years. Let's take a step back and explore. Pokémon cards have evolved through a massive number of sets, reprints and thematic shifts. Early sets like Base Set and Jungle featured simpler and hollow backgrounds, letting the Pokémon stand out in isolation. Later, sets like Dragon Vault and Dragon Majesty place Pokémon in full, immersive environments. The CGI styles became especially prominent during the XY and Sun and Moon eras, giving some cards a digital, almost game-like look. Then, the Black and White era introduced full art cards, where Pokémon broke past the traditional card borders. This concept evolved into today's Scarlet and Violet series, where full card illustrations create some of the most visually stunning designs yet. Over time, Pokémon cards became more intricate, featuring richer details, unique rarities, and special designations like the Pokémon Center label. Themed mechanics such as tag team cards added even more variety, making each set feel distinct and collectible. Of course, this evolution wouldn't be interesting without the high-level Japanese artists behind them. Names like Komiya, Kimura, Tokiya, Saito, and Mori have all left their mark, each bringing their own signature artworks to the game. To a certain extent, because interestingly, there isn't one set art style. Designs vary depending on the set's theme and the Pokémon company's direction. Some evolutions even have different artists for each stage, and flashy designs are often handled by companies like 5-Band Graphics. But to truly appreciate where we are today, we need to look back at the vintage cards. The earliest Pokémon TCG artwork was simple yet iconic, often featuring Pokémon against plain or lightly detailed backgrounds. Since then, the Pokémon Company has refined its approach, using experience and new technology to seamlessly integrate art into card designs. Today, many cards depict Pokémon within their natural habitats or in dynamic action scenes, adding depth and storytelling to the illustrations. Some sets, like Pokémon X, focus on bold, energetic designs, while subsets like the Gallery series take a more artistic, experimental approach. Special releases like CGI sets and promotional cards tied to new movies further showcase the diversity in art styles. Notably, collaborations have led to unique creations, such as the Van Gogh-inspired Pikachu card, a playful nod to art history. The 151 art set serves as a comprehensive showcase of these evolving styles and the integration of art into the cards. Over the years, with each new generation, we've observed nuanced developments building upon previous designs. One important thing to note about art style is that different evolutions of the same Pokémon are often illustrated by different artists. For example, the Charmander artwork might have a completely different style and artist than the Charizard that follows it. While some art styles may look similar due to a set's thematic design, the artists behind them can be vastly different as well. Certain cards have become highly sought after, often referred to as chase cards. Their unique and expressive designs, popularity of the Pokémon combined with low pull rates, contribute to their increased value. Moreover, the Pokémon Company has hosted multiple art tournaments over the years, initially focusing on the younger generation and gradually including older age groups as they grew up. Participants are often tasked with illustrating specific Pokémon, such as Pikachu, Snorlax, Arcanine, and other iconic Pokémon. And it's not just drawing something cool or make the best X card, 3D card, or standard card. No, the themes have evolved over the years, including Pokémon in its daily life and magical Pokémon moments. Some of the winning entries are truly remarkable, accompanied by artist comments and jury feedback. For instance, in 2024, Kazuki Minami was inspired by their yawning dog, leading to this winning piece. The jury commented, "It's a situation that seems to capture a moment that you witness by chance, and the heartwarming, goofy, exquisite cuteness of the yawning Pikachu is very attractive. Of course, the background that is depicted in detail is wonderful, but even while plants and other objects are realistically drawn, the expression of light and touch make it feel as if Pikachu, the main character, is firmly present in the space." Indeed, many contestants put forth their utmost effort to win the $5,000 prize. And a lot of artists who came close to the #1 spot have totally different styles. This goes to show that it's not only technical skill or the expression that matters, it's the artist's ability to capture their intention and convey it to the observer. One interesting thing is, there were some art pieces that were disqualified, but they didn't note the exact reason. It's also interesting to note that there have been some guest artworks by mangaka over the years, including Tetsuo Hara, creator of Fist of the North Star, and others like Ichiwaka, Ippan, and Shirahama. So, what actually goes into the process of creating Pokémon card art? In an interview, Pokémon artist Furusawa noted that the Pokémon Company and Creatures Inc. carefully review drafts for each Pokémon illustration. Because of this, he emphasized the importance of thorough research, mind mapping the subject, studying official references, and even identifying which trainers own the Pokémon in the anime series. His goal, in his own words, was always to make the Pokémon look either as cute or as cool as possible. Most of the feedback I receive concerns the shape and color of Pokémon. They give me specific instructions to correct the parts where I interpreted how a Pokémon should look differently from the official standards. Something that made an impression on me in the process of creating Arcanine's illustration was the feedback I received in regard to the background. I was told that the mountain could look like Mount Coronet or Mount Fuji, and that it would be better to use a more generic mountain range that would fit that world better. Roughly speaking, the process consists of 3 main rounds. The first focuses on dynamic composition, the second refines color, composition, and background. And the final round polishes details like light balance and finishing touches. One interesting detail Furusawa mentioned is that despite receiving critical feedback from his supervisors, he's most nervous about how players and card collectors will react to his work. In fact, he always checks to see what they think after a card is released. So, for those inspired to join the next competition, what does it take to make a Pokémon card feel truly alive? According to the Pokémon TCG directors, it all starts with making the featured Pokémon the true star. Whether it's a fierce Charizard X or a peaceful Pikachu in the wild. Every card tells a story, from where the Pokémon lives to how it behaves. But beyond that, it's the illustrator's creativity that brings the magic. With around 250 artists working on Pokémon cards, each new piece is a unique surprise, pushing the boundaries of art while staying true to the Pokémon world. And when it comes to contests, it's all about capturing those magical moments, whether it's a dynamic battle pose or a quiet, breathtaking scene. The best cards don't just showcase a Pokémon, they make you feel its world. There's one more category of Pokémon cards worth mentioning. No, not energy or item cards. I'm talking about trainer cards. These have been around since the very beginning, helping players draw cards, heal Pokémon, or pull off clever strategies. But over the years, they've evolved into something much bigger. With the introduction of full art trainer cards in the black and white era, these cards became collector favorites, not just for their gameplay value, but for their stunning illustrations. Some, like Lily from Sun and Moon or N from Black and White, have reached near legendary status in the community. And yes, let's just say some trainer cards have gained extra popularity among collectors, venturing a little into waifu territory. Regardless of why people collect them, trainer cards have added a unique dimension to the Pokémon TCG, blending nostalgia, strategy, and incredible artwork into one neat little package. And now, we have to talk about Pokémon box art. Well, what can I say, some of them look really nice and are a display item on their own. It's clear that this ever-evolving artistic direction is what keeps Pokémon card collecting so exciting. Every new set brings fresh designs, new styles, and a bit of that old ripping magic we all love. But some cards? Well, let's just say the hidden lives of Pokémon break certain illusions. Case in point, Dirty Grimer and Munching Paras. I'm like nog altijd GP Vugs, and like many 90s kids, I eventually lost track of my Pokémon cards. But one thing I'll never forget is hopping between neighborhoods, trading with other kids like we were running a black market operation. I even swapped my shadowless Blastoise with a very suspicious teen on a scooter for a Zapdos, thinking I was getting the better deal. Hindsight's 2020, I suppose.